Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you to the thousands joining us online. I'm John Fraley, Board Chair of My Future NC, and I'm pleased to welcome you to our 2026 State of Educational Attainment Update. Since launching this work in 2019, North Carolina has made real progress toward our 2 million by 2030 goal. Progress driven by sustained statewide collaboration. Educators expanded access and affordability. Institutions redesigned post-secondary entry pathways. Employers stepped up as partners, and policymakers and philanthropists have made smart investments that connected learning to opportunity. That's how progress happens, through shared goals and aligned action. And leadership matters, especially when policy, education, workforce, and funders move in the same direction. We're fortunate to have leaders from both parties who understand that preparing people for work is central to North Carolina's future. That's why we're honored to begin today with remarks from the General Assembly, whose members have helped turn shared priorities into action. We'll also hear from Governor Stein, whose leadership continues to advance this work statewide.
Hi, I'm Dustin Hall, Speaker of the North Carolina House. I want to first thank you all for your work on My Future NC, which is an incredibly important program for the future of our state. My Future NC is working to make sure that the folks of our state have the education they need to compete in the new economy. And the results so far have been tremendous. We were recently ranked #1 in the country for workforce development. We want to keep up the progress. We want to continue to provide this world-class education to the people of our state. And I can tell you on behalf of my colleagues in the State House, we're going to continue to do all we can to support My Future NC.
One of our state's greatest strengths has always been our willingness to plan ahead, to build those key systems to support our fine folks and in the economy for the long haul. Strong workforce doesn't happen by accident. It requires coordination across education, industry, public leadership, and of course our fine citizenry. It depends on an infrastructure that's stable, adaptable, and built to last. That important work is underway right now here in North Carolina. We're strengthening pathways from education to careers, improving alignment between credentials and those real workforce needs. We're investing in those systems to help our students navigate what comes next. And it doesn't matter which side of the state they're on, from Murphy to Manteo, we're getting this work done. The work's not flashy. We're not chasing headlines, but it's foundational. And these structures will allow our talent pipeline to grow, adjust, and thrive over time. As a proud member of My Future NC Board, I've seen firsthand what's possible when our leaders get together across sectors, across this great state, and commit ourselves to a shared long-term vision. We're going to stay focused on this structure. We're going to continue to plan ahead, and by working together, we're going to continue to position North Carolina as the best state in the union.
Thank you to the General Assembly for their leadership and continued commitment to the future of North Carolina's workforce. That commitment is strengthened when legislative action is matched by executive leadership. Our governor has made workforce development, apprenticeships, and education to career pathways a clear priority for North Carolina's economic future, as demonstrated through the Bipartisan Council on Workforce and Apprenticeships. It's my honor to introduce Governor Josh Stein.
Good afternoon. I want to thank the My Future NC Board of Directors for inviting me to discuss the importance of investing in education. The work that you all are doing to expand access to educational opportunity is critical to ensuring that our workforce has the skills that they need to succeed. Last year, North Carolina was ranked the top state in the country for business. That's the third time in the past 4 years. And recently we were ranked the top state for workforce development by Site Selection magazine. Neither of those accomplishments would be possible without the people of North Carolina, who are our greatest asset. So to invest in our future, we have to invest in our people. Last year, I formed a council on workforce and apprenticeships to create pathways for North Carolinians to access good jobs with good wages. The Council recently issued a report with 30 recommended strategies to better connect people to real opportunities. Some of the strategies are implementing new workforce Pell Grants to expand short-term training options for high-skill, high-wage jobs. Some of the training programs can be as short as just 8 weeks. Creating more apprenticeship opportunities in both the public and private sectors. Engaging more employers in key sectors like advanced manufacturing, education, and healthcare. Launching a public awareness program so that more people are aware of the existing workforce development resources here in North Carolina. And having 2 million North Carolinians ages 25 to 44 earn an industry-valued credential or degree by 2030. I expect that you all know well that last goal since you were the ones who first articulated it. Instead of reinventing the wheel, we want to build off what we're already doing right here in North Carolina. I'm committed to investing in our future, to partnering with employers, strengthening community colleges, and creating pipelines from education to opportunity. I know that all of you are as well, and I want to thank you for what you do. In our state, if you work hard, where you come from should never limit how far you can go. That's the promise of North Carolina, and delivering on that promise is what drives me as your governor, just as I know it drives each of you. So together, let's build a North Carolina that is safer, stronger, and more prosperous with more opportunities for every person. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Stein. The comments you've heard today are appreciated and essential, but what matters just as much is where North Carolina stands right now and what the data tell us about the path ahead. To walk us through that, where we are, where progress is accelerating, and where focused action is still needed, I'm pleased to introduce my future NC President and CEO, Cecilia Holden.
Thank you, John. And thank you, Governor Stein and the General Assembly, for your leadership and for the strong alignment you've shown today around preparing North Carolinians for work. To everyone joining us, legislators, educators, employers, agency leaders, and partners, your work is producing measurable progress across North Carolina. Over the past 5 years, North Carolina has built a more connected education to employment system, spanning early learning, post-secondary education, and the workforce. And that coordination is paying off. North Carolina now stands at 1.72 million adults ages 25 to 44 with a degree or credential. In just the past year, more than 57,000 additional North Carolinians in this age group earned a degree or credential, evidence that when systems align, progress accelerates. That number matters. Not on its own, but because it shows what's possible when systems work together with intention. We're seeing progress because pathways are opening earlier and staying open longer. From early learning to students earning college credit in high school to improved affordability through the Next NC Scholarship and state need-based aid. This year alone, more students earned credit before high school graduation, more working adults returned to college to upskill, and more students stayed enrolled because financial support met real-life challenges. These aren't abstract initiatives. They're real pathways to real careers. But access alone won't close workforce gaps. Alignment is the key multiplier. When learning connects directly to employer needs, outcomes change. Apprenticeships and pre-apprenticeships increased by 45% and 50% respectively in 2025. Employer partnerships are expanding. Work-based learning is scaling statewide. In North Carolina, employer leadership isn't optional, it's foundational. And this work is happening locally, region by region, driven by educators, employers, and community leaders, and supported by My Future NC's regional impact managers. In some regions, attainment is accelerating faster than the state average. And in others, employer demand still outpaces the talent pipeline. And closing that gap is essential. That's why regional leadership matters and why My Future NC is focused on turning statewide goals into local results. This progress isn't happening in the abstract, it's happening in communities. I want you to hear directly from one of the people doing this work on the ground.
Hello everyone, I'm Robert Locklear, Regional Impact Manager for the Sandhills region. Here in the Sandhills, we're connected to learning and work in ways that create lasting opportunity. The My Future NC County Attainment Profiles highlight the progress we've made and the areas where continued collaboration will drive even greater success, helping local leaders use data to guide meaningful action. Beginning in our schools, our partnerships, linking community colleges, universities, and employers, workforce and economic development partners, and the nonprofit organizations that anchor local communities are paving the way for students to explore career options early and build the skills they'll need to thrive. We see it in career academies, technical programs, and training initiatives that link education directly to local industry needs, including agriculture, healthcare, and advanced manufacturing. Our region has a long history of service and community pride. That same spirit drives our efforts to align education and employment, ensuring that people of all ages can access good jobs and rewarding careers close to home. We're creating a future where education leads to opportunity, where employers can find the talent they need, and where communities can grow stronger together. If you're an educator, employer, or community partner dedicated to developing local talent in the Sandhills, reach out. I can help connect you with the right partners and resources to turn shared goals into lasting progress. Together, we'll keep building momentum and keep North Carolina's future bright.
5 years ago, North Carolina committed to an ambitious goal: 2 million adults ages 25 to 44 earning a post-secondary degree or industry-valued credential by 2030. At the time, 1.45 million had done so. Today, that number stands at 1.72 million. Clear evidence that when education, workforce, and policy move together, results follow. That represents real progress, but it's also a warning light. Nearly 40% of adults ages 25 to 44 in North Carolina, or about 1.2 million individuals, still do not have a degree or credential. Before I turn to what comes next, I want to pause and recognize something essential. Progress like this doesn't happen by accident. It happens because leaders across parties, sectors, and communities choose responsibility over indifference and action over delay. Across North Carolina, individuals and organizations are strengthening pathways, removing barriers, and connecting learning to real opportunity, often without waiting for permission. And today, we're proud to recognize our 2026 Champions for Attainment. Their leadership is accelerating progress in classrooms, institutions, workplaces, and communities across the state, and reminding us that statewide goals are achieved through local action. Thank you for showing what's possible when leadership meets commitment.
So in Surry County, in rural North Carolina, we believe in partnerships. We've intentionally tried to work with the community college, with business partners to create intentional pathways. We think it's real important for our students to know and experience what's available right here at home.
I definitely would recommend this program because of the confidence it builds in yourself and also the experience that you gain from this program. You're like set for your career.
I believe what makes Surry Acton Works an effective model is how we build relationships. We're not filling spots. We're trying to meet the needs of our business partners and also meet the needs of our students.
Through this apprenticeship that they've offered, you're learning on the job every day, and I've realized I enjoy this type of work and I would want to carry on and keep going with it.
A young man came out and he was shadowing, watching the students weld, and next thing you know, he stepped there and started welding. Told us that's what his dream was to become a welder. So he signed up for Surry Acton Works, spent 2 semesters with Surry Acton Works. After that second semester, we hired him on, and at 18 years old, he had credentials from Surry Community College, experience through Surry Acton Works, and a full-time job with us, with benefits, 401k, you name it. So I don't know how much better of a success story you can have than that.
So North Carolina is in an incredibly fortunate position of growth. But we know that our community well-being, our competitiveness at the statewide level is going to rely on a robust and a dependable healthcare workforce. It's one of those foundational industries within our state.
Our job at the state level is to ensure that among state agency partners, among policymakers, among various trade associations, that we are creating the conditions for success so that each region can right-size their local workforce needs and really thrive as they're serving the folks in their communities.
The idea behind the Health Town Alliance and behind the Center on the Workforce for Health is to really come together to figure out how to meet a defined need.
And so our goal with the Health Town Alliance was to work collaboratively to increase supply.
Through the North Carolina Health Town Alliance, we're able to bring employers together, both at the regional, local, and statewide levels, to better understand what their employee needs are going to be. Employers are now helping us shift workforce development to a demand-driven system.
I think the thing that really brought everyone together to launch the Bertie Attainment Coalition was a shared concern about the barriers facing our local students, and many people in Bertie County were missing out. And it wasn't because they lacked talent, but it was because the pathway was confusing and support was often scattered.
We are very fortunate to have two community college partners. We are serviced by Roanoke, Chowan, and Martin Community, and they are very resourceful when we try to create pathways.
Instead of competing as colleges for students, we began to work together to try to figure out how we could attract students just to college, kind of taking away that mindset of they need to come here, they need to come here. Well, what's best for the student?
I love taking college classes so much, and I'm so happy that I got the opportunity to, because it really opened up my eyes and my life on something that could make up the rest of my future.
Before I connected with my career coach, I was just kind of floating around, taking classes that I needed to graduate, but not really with like a goal in mind.
They are high school students. They don't know what they don't know. Sometimes they just know things they like. They know they want to help people, but they don't know if that means being a teacher or being a nurse. And sometimes they're making those decisions based on things they've seen on TV, but they don't see the paperwork that's on the other side of that or all the other pieces.
I let them see how things go together. Because I have students coming to me and they say, oh, well, I can't take those classes. And I'm like, oh, yes, you can. What are you taking third period? We can put welding in that class.
I feel like career coaches are the bridge. And in some cases, they're really talking to first-generation students and showing them it is possible. They don't see themselves as college ready, but the coaches encourage them with that one-on-one environment and realize they really are college material.
I figured out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to help people once I graduate from college, and that I want to get my master's degree in occupational therapy. And it's just really nice having someone in your corner who knows what you want to achieve and will help you get there.
What's unique about it to me, and also very interesting, is that they have put together a plan to be able to provide students a different type of funding support.
The Forward Fund is designed as an opportunity for those that are living here and maybe stuck in low wage or multiple minimum wage employment jobs to level up, kind of bet on themselves.
So I wanted to pursue a career in truck driving because I've been driving box trucks for the last about 2 years. And I just wanted to step it up a little bit and do it at the highest level I could. So the Forward Fund allowed me to join this program because it gave me the funds I needed to continue on with my day-to-day life, paying bills, supporting my family.
The Forward Fund making this opportunity available with 0% interest is amazing. It allows you to borrow up to $10,000, which will help me cover my living expenses, from paying the mortgage, the paying the power bill, the paying the water bill. It's the best deal possible to start your new career.
That's our goal, is to provide that innovative financing that can be an economic mobility driver for individuals and families in North Carolina.
When we kicked off NC Reconnect in 2021, what we learned is that adult learners were looking for a way to come back, a way to get a job, a way to get a credential. And at the core of NC Reconnect, it was really about reaching out to them and giving them something that they couldn't refuse, to return, to upskill, and to completely change their family's economic reality.
You have work, you have kids, and you have school on top of that. It's just a whole balancing act like no one would believe.
I felt like they were going over and beyond to, help me, give me what I needed to succeed. At the end of the class, I actually obtained a job to make the vaccine.
Reaching out to adult learners is about the economic welfare of our state, but it's also a very human story. It's about the single mother that needs a better job. It is about the veteran who has gotten out and is trying to reskill into the civilian workplace. Ultimately, it's about showing that in North Carolina, you may not have gotten the first crack at higher education, landing exactly where you wanted it to, but there's another chance. There's a chance to reconnect.
Congratulations again to our 2026 Champions for Attainment. Their work shows what's possible when leadership and action align, and the question now is how we scale that impact statewide. And that's where the Workforce Act of 2026 comes in. Our progress is being recognized nationally. Site Selection recently ranked North Carolina #1 in the country for workforce development, based on credentials, technical skills, and return on investment for education. But rankings don't sustain themselves. Remaining #1 requires continued bipartisan commitment, which is exactly why we're proposing a Workforce Act for North Carolina. This Workforce Act doesn't start from scratch. It builds on strategies that are already working and scales them statewide. At its core, it invests in alignment between education and employment, between what learners earn and what employers need, and between statewide goals and regional realities. The Workforce Act of 2026 advances 4 proven strategies. First, work-based learning. The Workforce Act would expand paid, employer-led training tied directly to credentials by sustaining and scaling Apprenticeship NC. The result is more apprentices, more participating employers, and faster job placement in high-demand fields. Second, career exploration. It strengthens statewide career exploration by investing in NC Careers, the state's premier tool for students and working adults to understand job demand, wages, and pathways. The result is clearer career choices, less mismatch, and smarter use of training dollars. Third, seamless education pathways. The Act supports technology-enabled transfer pathways across education systems, reducing friction as learners move between institutions or return to education. The result is faster credit transfer, fewer dead ends, and more completions. Fourth, employer-valued credentials. It expands access to credentials that employers validate and value through support for NC Workforce Credentials and short-term credential grants. The result is faster job placement, stronger return on investment, and credentials that lead directly to work. Together, these strategies reduce friction across the education to employment system, making it easier for people to start a pathway, stay on track, and finish with a credential that leads to a good job. These are data-backed solutions aligned with employer demand and already delivering results. And let me be clear, none of this works without strong instruction in the classroom. An effective educator in every classroom is foundational, non-negotiable to a strong economy. Without a skilled and respected educator workforce, North Carolina's talent pipeline and every industry it supports breaks down. In addition to these key policy priorities, we continue to support key partner efforts, including NC College Connect, Propel NC, The Next NC Scholarship and North Carolina's need-based scholarships, Boost and Completion Assistance Grants, and NC Works, because systems succeed when they work together. North Carolina has momentum. We have alignment, and we have a clear path forward. But progress doesn't sustain itself. It requires action, locally and statewide. So I'll leave you with 2 calls to action. First, get involved where this work is happening. Review the new 2026 State Attainment Profile and connect with your local My Future NC Regional Impact Manager to understand what the data show and how you can help move it. That's where statewide goals turn into real results. Second, support development and passage of the Workforce Act of 2026. It reflects what we know works and what North Carolina's employers and learners need now. If we stay aligned, focused, and committed to results, North Carolina will reach its goal, and more importantly, more North Carolinians will have access to opportunity. Thank you for your leadership, your partnership, and your continued commitment to preparing people for work.